The thing about Spice and Wolf that I've come to really appreciate is how it respects the viewer's intelligence. So many anime suffer fandoms that are very loud and vocal about what is boring and what is exciting, and don't get it mistaken. I like a good monkey brain action sequence as much as the next guy. But at the end of the day, I always say in my videos, if there's no reason to understand why characters are fighting, it's pretty soulless, it's pointless. You might as well just go watch AMVs on YouTube of characters swinging around swords if you don't have a reason of why they're swinging around the swords. Spice and Wolf, with episode 5 specifically, really impressed me with what they're able to accomplish in an episode that is what most will call boring, because the first 10 minutes or so of this episode, it's Lawrence and this guild leader just sitting and standing in a singular room talking about economics and how they can get Holo back. Nothing truly explosive, no twists and turns or anything, it's just simple strategy. Yet my eyes were glued to the screen, and I was convinced we might have been 5 minutes into the episode by the time we reached the halfway point. And an episode that doesn't try to explode in entertainment with flash and spectacle, but just uses economics and the drama that comes with it, because as they say, money makes the world go round. Money is what controls everything, including people. And watching an episode with as much heart wore on its sleeve as this, that scene with Holo and the whiplash she went through from being remembered to them being discarded all in one go, her opinion of like thinking like, I wanted you to come save me and you're hiding in a hole. There's so many finer, smaller nuances to these scenes that make for such splendid character writing. And normally, you know, the people who would call stuff like this boring, because you see it in all these shows, you know, often when shows, whether it's an isekai, a fantasy, or a shonen get criticized, there's always these divides among fandoms. I'm the type of person who watches like a little bit of every type of anime, so I kind of like, I dip my toes in every sort of water. But if it's an isekai with like an episode like this, the number of fans who will call it boring because monkey brain ain't swinging sword around is insane. On the flip side, monkey brains probably don't get 5 episodes into a show like Spice and Wolf to call it boring, but it doesn't change the fact that if you look hard enough, I'm sure there's someone downvoted on the Reddit thread or, you know, on Twitter or something. But it's insane because these types of episodes to me are the farthest thing from boring. People act like episodes with characters sitting around talking is like watching paint dry. Like, if you can't listen to lead characters interact with the world without something explosive happening, that says a lot about how shit the writing is. We gotta be frank, and Spice and Wolf is a certified banger. Full live reactions though over on my Patreon if you want to see my full and good thought to this week's episode or any of these wonderful Spice and Wolf episodes. It's gonna be over there if you're interested. So, I think my favorite part is probably who we learn came down, because I think it was at the very end of last week's episode or close to it. Holo looked like she recognized who came down the stairs, and I didn't know who the hell she was gonna recognize. Turns out is actually a guy from the village that we initially started the show off at. And what's interesting is the whiplash of emotions that she went through. Because one of the things about Holo's character that has fascinated me is how old and wise she is, but how lonely and almost discarded she feels. Like, as if no one cares about her, no one remembers her, what's her purpose, but she knows she's the great wise wolf. And immediately this man's like, I know you, you're the god of harvest, basically. And the fact that she immediately was like happy about that, despite the circumstance being a situation where she's threatening to cut the dicks off of every guy in that room, she immediately could then just let her guard down ever so slightly to be like, that actually made me happy. Because, you know, imagine feeling like, yeah, I am the wise wolf, only for then the truck coon of isekai to come in and smack her into another anime saying, nah, we no longer need you. We no longer need your blessings, your curses, none of this. You are not needed. That had to hit like an isekai truck. Like, you could just feel the defeat. The thing that was like the most shocking though was actually the reunion, because initially, like, you knew something was off. I thought maybe she was putting on an act because they needed to make it look like they were just doing like a little robbery or something. I didn't know. But she was very tense, but then again, she was in prison. I mean, that's going to be emotional for anyone, God or not. And immediately she's like, I told you to come for me. And I was like, what is she talking about? Because like, we literally just did. I was like, well, maybe she's thinking because like he didn't like wasn't the first one that she saw, so then maybe it felt like a no. It kind of feels like a difference of an animal and a human's opinion of how to deal with that situation, which is clearly a dynamic that's interesting because while she's not necessarily just a beast, there is a lot about her mentality that feels animalistic, and for Lawrence, obviously more of a human, as seen by, I think it was episode 3, when they had the conversation about why wolves fear humans and why humans fear wolves, and the whole dynamic of hunter and prey. An episode like this, it makes it feel like you force me to hide in a hole, to be a coward, you look pathetic, you know, this or that, but they still respect each other. But it's like a difference of views on the world, because obviously from her point of view, she probably thought, Macho Man gonna come in guns a-blazing and, you know, just break her out of prison. And instead, she was thrown into the sewers and ran like a little rat in a cage. It's actually understandable when you put yourself in her shoes, but I like the fact that rather than making drama last past that initial conversation, they were good right after that, and you get more sweet bonding moments. I mean, you end the freaking episode with them holding hands going through that sewer. And the fact that he could have easily let go after initially, you know, pulling her through, no, like, they're holding hands, damn it. At this point, by anime logic, we're actually legally married. We're making progress, that's all I'm saying. But it was nice because the plan and the idea, because what's interesting about the situation, and this is why the first half of the episode works so well, is that normally Lawrence wouldn't have a lot of sway or opinion or, you know, authority to do much. And it would basically be between this guild and the people that kidnapped Holo, right? Like, they would have all the cards in their favor. But I like how it's like Lawrence and this man are working together, but he's also saying like, I need your help, you need my help. If you don't do this, you know, I'm gonna go testify. It's like everyone has a little bit of something above the other, and it creates such an interesting dynamic where it doesn't feel like there's no respect. It's just like everyone needs something in order for a big moment like this to occur. And it was just great to see what they were able to accomplish with something that would be boring for so many anime fans out there. And I mean, I'm the type of person who dialogue focused episodes are my favorite. Like, some of my favorite episodes in anime or even TV shows are characters sitting in a room talking or standing and talking, because what they're discussing is so important for either characterization or plot progression. Or hell, maybe it's not even important for either, but it's just that entertaining. An episode like this with strategy, literally it's economic warfare. That's what it all boils down to, with the progression of Holo and Lawrence's relationship and how a god is feeling needed again from this man while he's also teaching her how to like live life, and just the bonds they're building is beautiful. I will always say we shouldn't try to appeal to fans who think anything that isn't action is boring, but I do understand that yes, dialogue can be dry, and there are shows with dialogue focused scenes that I'm like, damn bro, that's boring because I don't like the characters, I think the production's ugly, or the VAs aren't doing good jobs. There's a lot of things, but often, and I think a vast majority of the time, people who call anime like this boring, or scenes or episodes like this boring, are doing so because they just want action, which is fine. If that's what you like, that's what you like. Some people think the Expendable movies are cinema gold. I highly disagree with that statement, but I've talked to people who think that. We all have our opinions. But Spice and Wolf respects the viewer's intelligence enough to say, we're not going to try to throw flash at you to keep you interested. We know our writing's just that fucking good, and the writing is just that fucking good. Let me know what you thought down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell so you know if I went up a little more, and like I mentioned, got those full live reactions over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Monsi7, Buonaki, Monica Lazuria, Kyle Kowalchuk, Hunter De Lupin, George, Zeno, and we also have Scott Raymond. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.